Guardian Oracle. How is everybody doing? It has been a minute since I've been on here. Been working and busy. For those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Casey. I am a psychic medium. I channel higher dimensional conscious information. I receive downloads and messages through all things. I am seated here to bring an awareness to the conscious evolution of self-awareness and higher consciousness through the evolution of self-healing and looking at attributes of ourself. I call on the highest realms of vibrational frequency, to the Divine Master, God, Ascended Masters, Christ Consciousness. The purpose of these messages are that some things may, in your spiritual awakening, resonate with you or be insights that you're looking for or answers that you may have previously asked your spirit guides or God, or if you've prayed. Welcome to the channel. I also do personal readings. My information for that is in my description box. My email address is all lowercase, one word, Angel Dynasty 33, as you were. Is that the right one? Angel Dynasty 33 at gmail.com. Hi Wade, what's up? Good to see you. Hi Tina. Man, that is early there. I've been having some of those nights of not being able to sleep myself. 2:39 in the morning. Yeah, I figured I'd get on here because I'm about to go finish building a gate and some fencing, and I've got another bid to go do on a roof. For those of you who don't know, I'm a general contractor, so I have other things. So I was sitting here this morning, and it's only going to be 96 here in Idaho, and I was like, you know what, I'll get on and I'll do a read, because by the end of the evening, it just seems like more stuff piles up. So here I am. Okay, so I did meditate on the energy. I'm going to call in the angels in the higher realms, do a sacred prayer. Holy Spirit, holy angels of the highest bright light, I call on you for clarity and guidance. I ask that the messages would come through, would be of the truth and for the highest good of all and in the collective. I pray that these messages will find those that need it most. Archangel Michael, I call on you to guard the gates. As I channel these messages, I demand, declare, and decree that no weapons formed against myself or my listeners shall prosper, so mote it be. Te shoroteria kirete te anonono ye pakarate te shorote hikidea. Para te kiretuye sharate kirete te amanana ye papaye kederte shorkieti. Azra kedrote ye shapoye teretea. So mote it be. Some of you have been waiting for a specific message, answer, or confirmation to something. The collective, the way I am sensing the collective right now, we are in this state of burrowing down into the earth. I really see a lot of interdimensional, higher galactic frequencies that are being seeded here through a lot of you. So that could be just having premonitions or daydreams. I heard escapism, but it's not really. Maybe some of you are really have found your spirituality as an escape. It's like you're on the precipice of finding answers to specific things. You could be getting this through music or series or movies that you've been watching. It's like the hair on your neck stands up and you're receiving messages. Hi, Stitchy boy, what's up? Stitch is coming in to say hi. All right, so for the channeled messages, I got peacekeepers, divine wisdom, higher conscious awareness, super downloads, seeing synchronicities in everything, the number master, and higher spiritual realms. Okay. Holy Spirit, where are we going to go? I can feel we're going to be on a tangent today because I'm already pulling from decks I normally don't. So let's talk about the energy of the collective at this time. Attributes, shifts, the conscious awareness that we're in for the highest good of all. Holy Spirit, holy angels. How are you guys on this beautiful day? I think it's so interesting how time and space works. For those of you that do astro traveling, and just like it's tomorrow here, but Tina, for you, it's today here, but for you, it's tomorrow because it's already 2:39 in the morning. So it's just interesting. Time. Somebody could be very interested in time traveling, light years. I've been getting the message a lot myself, traveling to the past to save a future. That perhaps we are an advanced civilization in the future that came back to the past on this earthly realm. Perhaps we already inhabit colonies on different planets, and we are here doing divine work to bring back, and it's always coming back to love. Because it doesn't matter how much weapons or technology or advanced we become, if you can't hug yourself, how can you hug and love the universe, you know? And how are we going to inhabit? We know with power and high technology, obviously we see it within our own governmental systems, there's greed. And with greed becomes a power struggle, and then that's when we're back into the unconscious, conscious frequencies of this race, right? So I feel like a lot of the times, and some of you could be feeling this as well, or get these inklings that even if you're in the astral realm or space travel, I've been watching this show. It's called Stargate Universe. And I would recommend that any of you who are interested in the extraterrestrial and the advanced civilizations and the benevolent beings of the higher realms, that you guys would look into that. They travel to the future not knowingly. They find these stargates and start going through these stargates, and they end up being on this ship that's called the Destiny, and this ship is so advanced, so they're learning how to use it, but the ship will take them into stars and repower the ship, and it's ancient. So it's basically what I've been picking up on is how many secret space programs do we have that have ran into stargates or found these, you know, some of the top scientists or all the missing people that are on the Walmart billboards, right? That we haven't found, that are getting pulled to, whether they're very consciously aware or their genetic code is that of very psychic, intuitive. They could have two different ancestral DNA bloodlines from different advanced civilizations that came together, and like they're the seed that the double helix is activated in. And then when they get birthed through the crystalline grid, right, which is that soul that incarnates repeatedly, it gets an automatic download of every lifetime, which lifetimes don't have to be in the past. They could be in the future. There really is no time and space. And for some of you are going to understand exactly what I'm saying. For others of you might not understand it at this time. You're starting to see that science is starting to really align with the spiritual aspects of the human body, the physics, our pineal gland, all of the ways that when we get into a meditative state or people are channeling, that their brain starts creating these different waves and their auric field starts to change, and the power within the human, right? Because I think a lot of things haven't been disclosed because it would put different philosophies or scientific things, Newton's law, you know what I mean, traveling faster than the speed of light, or things like this, it would blow us out of the water, and that wouldn't make sense to the humankind, right? We would all really be questioning our existence and the things that we're programmed to know. Lots of channeling today. Enlightenment, pursuit of spiritual growth. And this is what we're talking about. It's questioning all things. We have a portal in the back of our cranium at the top of our crown that is called the Rainbow Bridge, which is the bridge to the unawakened self to the awakened self. Remember that we're just a small portion of the aspect of the soul, right? Or a consciousness within this physical vessel. That doesn't mean our consciousness isn't somewhere else on a different planet or seated somewhere else or within the earth. It is very interesting. The evil life of the devil will fight back to the earth of after lifetime and future time. Past of hell gates will open up to heaven. That is an interesting perspective, and I'm sure I'm probably just not reading it to the depth of what you mean it. Thanks for your support for Donald Trump. Hell yeah, we love Donald Trump over here. He is very wise, benevolent beings. I believe he actually has extraterrestrial contacts. I believe that he is chosen for the specific time and space. I think it is based off of his DNA. He might say some crazy stuff once in a while, and a lot of people, you know, when you get out of the politics, but he's somebody that really can't be controlled, and that's what the lower deities, or let's just say darker entities, rulers of the governmental system that are cloning, taking these children, using their DNA, having you know, during 2020 we had all the curfews. All these people had to stay inside their house and weren't allowed out, or you were going to jail. It's like, what the hell was the government doing at these times? Over 200,000 kids were found in underground tunnels that were being raped, cloned, used in spiritual, military, right? Darker, I'm not saying all military, I am actually a veteran. All the military force that are running these programs. I know a lot of people probably can't comprehend the amount. There's underground tunnels throughout our entire fucking world that can lead from one side of the world to the other, not to mention what's under the ice and underneath the ocean. You know, we all have drones, everybody's scoping stuff out, there's no fly zones. But within the mountains, there's more. So really what we're looking at is waking up to really what is out there and these secrets. And this is what I'm picking up on, is I feel like there's a lot of you that are asking these bigger questions. Perhaps you're watching documentaries or really receiving these downloads. Letting go of the old thought paradigms, letting go of what you've been taught, what you've been told, and really calling out to the universe. And when you're doing that, you're letting off a frequency as if you're in your very own you have your own antenna, and when you're asking the universe, right, you're sending out that vibration of eagerness, of seeking, of love, of how am I playing into this role, what is my role here on earth. That is something that's bringing that communication through to you, whether it's your dreams, daydreams, numbers, people that you're meeting, coincidences, right? The illusion of the past is literally falling away. It's like you're stepping out of the mirror into the real world and able to download and perceive and understand a lot more about spirituality. And yes, it always comes back to love and self-healing, because really the world does a number on us. So if we can't get in there and heal childhood traumas, past relationships, and we can't see them for what they were to help us evolve, and we're still holding grudges and hate in our heart, it's going to be hard for us to understand the concept of the whole, right? Which is the whole reason we come here, is to always come back to self. Realize that we are powerful, benevolent beings that are created by the God Most High, right? And we are very high frequency consciousnesses that are seated here through this vessel. We are magnificent beings. Hi, Siddharth. How are you? William Moore, number on his jersey is 25. 7 could be July, could have been an important number for you. See, just like seeing stuff like that with the numbers and the jerseys and all of the things. Where do we want to go? Because I feel like we're going to switch some things up. Hi everybody, welcome to the channel. Hey, if you're in here, will you do me a favor and hit that like button? YouTube runs off of the algorithm, so it's not so much about the likes and subscribes, but it is to be able to get the messages out there. So if everybody would just take a minute and hit that like button, in your top right hand corner there should be 3 dots that drop down. Tell me about this enlightenment of the collective, please, Holy Spirit. And, you know, it has depicted on this picture the elephant in the back, which is indicative of wisdom. You know, people say you have the mind of an elephant. And this could be something that you're calling back into yourself. This last full moon, some of you guys could have really experienced a lot of different sorts of messages being received. You're noticing specific things within relationships or dynamics within your life. Maybe you've gotten a promotion, or you're starting to see things actually shift in your life to moving forward. We've got the corn number 10. Some of you are ready for a full harvest of the seeds that you have planted over this last 3 years. And I think it's taken those 3 years to really allow this illusion to fall away. It's like everybody else a lot of the people that you're around may feel lost and, really even go to the politics because they're like the parents of, our judicial, our ruler system here on earth, right? Hi, Stitchy boy. And I think as time's gone by, you've really just started to realize the corruption in a lot of things and how that creates the illusion that we're stuck within the paradigm. No scratching, or you're going to get down. Wow. The Journey, number 29, which is also a 10. Some of you could be seeing 1010 or could be born on October 10th, or that could be a very significant day. A lot of you are maybe finding out that you actually can like shapeshift into a different animal or have found a totem animal or continue to see like the same hawk, the same owl, the same messages within that. And people are like, what do you mean you can shapeshift into that? And for those of you that know, like there is no limits on our capacity to transform into some of the most magnificent stuff. And the people that are going to find that are the ones that are going within. What am I here for? Asking the bigger question, seeking within. It's not always what's without you, it's what's within you, right? Because we've had the relationships, the teachers, and we've had some good teachers, and we've had some teachers that have taught us what not to be like, what we don't want to do. Letting go, learning to let go of the past and what a lot of you could be in this transitional period. We've got the Wild Woman, number 62, and the Tree of Life. Some of you could be really interested in actual genetics and your DNA and how they say it's 23andMe when they do. I just see the bird fly off. 23andMe for the genetics test. Well, there's actually 24, right? And everybody thinks that the 24th, get down, strain is junk DNA. And really, they don't know what it is at this point. So what my spirit guides are telling me right now is once they can understand the placebo effect, right? Which is, for those of you that don't know, they give two people a pill. One will be a sugar pill and one will be the actual medicine. And then they do a prolonged study on those who've taken it to see, say, if you have gout or, you have a sinus infection or an elbow ache, right? And for 3 months, they give two people, one a sugar pill and one the real deal. And they both seem to get better. It's the power of the mind, right? It's reprogramming those synapses that our neurons run off and program within our brain. They take the same neural pathways all the time and are it stays programmed like that until we start to evolve and learn new things, to perceive new things. And at first, every time you're learning something, you're like, wow, that blows my mind, or oh, that can't be. And we question the shit out of it because we're humans. We have the humanism in the linear brain, right? To tap into our true conscious awareness, it does take a lot of self-seeking. And really, when you're in a higher vibration, it's easier to do that. Well, what puts you in a higher vibration? The act of being loving, being kind, being charismatic, being the teacher and the leader that you didn't have in a hard time, understanding that everybody has these facets to life that part of their destiny that could be a downfall. And a lot of the things, really, when you start to wake up, you realize that the shit that happens in your life that's super hard is actually the things that propel you furthest down your path to becoming self-aware. What kind of relationships do I like in my life? How do I choose to treat myself? How you take care of your vessel, right? Because this vessel is what's seeding that consciousness. It's already within you. It's just opening up to it. So when you eat healthy and you recognize the way that you speak to others, that you are a magnet. You can either repel or attract things back to you. And that's what makes you a powerful being. Hi, Haley. Oh, this is Morgan. My daughter has changed my account. Oh, what's up, Morgan? Two fucking dragonflies just flew in at the same time. That could be somebody's totem animal. The goat of darkness of hell will be here soon. Well, I will tell you, hell is a conscious place. There is already dark entities and deities here. say we're in a room of 100 people and the light goes out. It only takes one person to have a candle or a flashlight to put dark light back into that room, correct? One power source, one energy. It only takes one person to shed the light, and so long as there's a light, darkness will never succumb the light. Morgan, I am glad you're in here. Okay, one thing, just 1 minute. Everybody's out mowing their lawn. I'll tell you what, I am so sore. I've been working, man, for the last 3 weeks straight, and I'm finally starting to get a little bit more in shape, which is so nice. Do I want to go? I'm being told let's go to the Psychic Pathways Tarot deck. Didn't fall. So, how many of you that are actually in the read right now or on the live have experience or are like can relate to the information that I'm putting out right now? Because for me to pick up on the extraterrestrial, which I am a starseed, a lot of us are. How many of you have those thoughts or are in that collective consciousness of the self-awareness aspect of your life, really coming back to what, not just the gift portion of it, right? But how am I playing a role? What is your role here? And are really seeking that out. And it's like, even if you're not thinking about it, you're thinking about it, right? Holy Spirit, Holy Angels, for the highest good of the collective. Discern your gut instincts. Glean possibilities, not prediction. Got number 61 and number 57. Somebody could be born in 1957. That could be a specific timeline or a branch timeline that you've come back to, incarnated on it with your consciousness a few times. I mean, the timeline goes forward and backwards. Time travel seems to be a big one as well coming through. What do the stars mean? Why do we have a birth chart with specific attributes? Can that be a map that channels it back to our descendants or the planet of which we came from? You know what I mean? We know it'll have attributes in roles within, but if a specific birth chart from when we're born, and you look into it, your north node, sun, moon, rising, and this is telling you about your personality traits, past life karma, right? Past life, even though it's on just a different timeline. And it is all confirming kind of attributes of your life now. What if you could pinpoint it back to the actual star origin of what you come from, your actual descendants, your creed, your orientation, and that might tell you a little bit more. I mean, the stars is one thing that have always been here, that have been studied, that have brought some of the greatest astronomers and philosophers and scientists, you know. These are questions that will entail, you know, right? And some people are right on it, but a lot of it gets disclosed and a lot of money gets spent on disclosing this type of information because there's power within it. And if you could help the human race, right, us here stuck within the money and power system, which is all it really is, because we'd have the advancements of the next 14, 15, 16 iPhone or whatever the hell they're on now. There's no money going straight to the newest technology because it's all about the money and the banking systems, right? The Titanic actually sank because there was 3 people, it was purposely done, 3 people with on that ship that were bringing in a different money system to where it wouldn't be governmentally ran, which would create freedom, and there would not be poverty, right? It would be a different monetary system. Now in the system that we have, they're repeatedly printing money that has zero value, right? Trillions and trillions of dollars that, you know, we're putting it, the money has absolutely no value. So they were bringing that forward, and I want to say it has something to do with Chase in some way. I'll have to look back on that documentary that I was watching. Same thing with 9/11. You know, a lot of people, I mean, what a terrible thing to happen, and to come to find out that it's actually something that came from our own Pentagon, right? Or, you know, the lies and the skepticism behind it, and that fear and the trauma of it really keeps a lot of people from asking the question of what really happened. Think about who was on those planes. Think about who was in those towers, right? These were people that could create a huge change. Not only did it, I mean, it brought a lot of people together. See, whatever the darkness actually intends to be bad, it actually brings a lot of light because we come together and we start to wake up. That seeded a lot more love, compassion, what they didn't understand. So there's so much corrupt stuff. I just want to put that out there. Do not take what you see for 100%. The craziest shit you'll think of, the truest shit is crazier than fiction. It's because we've been fucking lied to for so long. Money, politics, secret space programs, that there's other colonies on moons and Mars, and even when, what's that guy who has, I think he has Facebook now, he tried to send a rocket to Mars, right? Because he was trying to get people on Mars and on the moon and do this. They kept getting blown up, right? And I just want to put this out there, that those that are actually trying to bring this awareness to us they have been JFK. They've been killed. They've been assassinated. You know, if you're in these secret programs in these underground tunnels and you're testing DNA from labs from shipwrecks, or a part of these child abductions, right? And raising them on different colonies and different planets, and they just get taken from their parents. How many parents do you see on those shows? What is that, 2020 or Cold Case Files? And these are people that just are missing. John Benet Ramsey. Let's think about some of these, you know, and I'm not saying that that's a specific instance, but how many children have gone missing that have never turned up again? What was it? 150,000 people a day go missing? It's some crazy astronomical number like that. And nobody sees a hide and hair of them. The cops never figure anything out. This stuff's really coming through today. So maybe corruption has been something that has been on your guys' mind too. Really looking past the political and the agenda, like past what they're saying to each other, and really like, what are you doing for us? You know what I mean? The seeding hatred and all of the shutting out the borders, and the Mexicans this and the Iranians this. Well, if we'd stop fighting other countries for their own fucking resources and trying to invade every orifice of, we wouldn't have these issues. You know what I mean? We're always sticking our nose in places that it doesn't belong. Even, you know, the really fucked up thing is we're over there fighting over fuel, but we have free energy that the government already knows about that we're not putting into society, right? Because there would go so much money for our power. Our vehicles would not run off of fuel. They made a vehicle, and this is called, God, what is it? It's the Time. It's basically where they take these super advanced minds and they put them in this, it's like this think tank is what it is. And they actually had this program where they've created a vehicle that runs off of water, and it worked. And somehow after, I think it was like a year of these naval scientists putting it together and getting it to work, and they went to these bigger oil companies, and as soon as the oil companies found out about it, that whole program got shut down because it blew up, and they're like, nope, we're not going to do this again with you. But it worked, and then all of a sudden it just blew up one day. You know, they were at the final stages of it and was getting ready, you know, to become released to more than just the higher clearance people. This is stuff that's disclosed now, and this was in the 80s. This was stuff that was in the 80s, and you're telling me we haven't advanced since then besides the outside out appearance of a vehicle? Come on, guys. You know, there's free energy. They already know about geothermal heat. Like, there's so many things that, and you guys are gonna be the ones that get these seeds of consciousness within your own mind, how to do something. These advanced civilizations and beings and energy that's left in the crystalline grid, you're going to be somebody with spectacular energy to encode this, and you might get it through a dream. It could be, and it'll get given out to some people in Europe, some people in America, some people in Russia, and whoever acts and takes on this role of whether it's geothermal heat, hey, if we just dig down this deep, we have enough steam and heat to run and power things to where we're not living off of a grid. What do you think Nikola Tesla was on at the time between the pyramids and the towers, right? It is, everything that's worth a shit gets shut down. It really does. And it takes a really courageous person, and God will set up the right team in the right place at the right time for these things to come forward and to get leaked out. And, you know, we are working with advanced civilizations. Even if we don't see them and they're interdimensional beings, we're still receiving this through our claircognizance, right? Through our clairaudience, through our writings, through books we're watching, or reading. You could be watching a show and it could have something to do with that. And you're like, I was just thinking about that. If you guys are having those moments, know that you've been chosen for a specific task to bring this wisdom and knowledge to the forefront of the world, right? So that we can get past paying out the ass for our banking systems and the politics. You know how much money these fuckers are making to run for president and all of their political campaigns and parties, but we've got veterans sleeping on the street. VA can't get these guys help. We can't get them a birth certificate or get them some help, but you know, the real secret society of the government is the one that's putting the fentanyl and the dope out on there to keep people strung out because they know attributes of broken. You send them over to war, they lose all of their friends. You know, a man doesn't really, this is the way that they think. Missing a fucking leg out on the street, smoking meth, has no family, all of their friends died. Yeah, a broken heart will lead you to a place of an unhealed aspect where you can numb. Alcohol, drugs. They know the system. They know the role of humanism, that we are a product of our environment, that pain, because we're so honored in our humanism and love so deeply, that anything that gets taken away from us or that hurts can really stifle a person from personal growth. Then you have a drug, and it so happens somebody introduces them to them, right? And now they're stuck. This is a warrior with, you know, a Purple Heart combat vet that is on the street, but yet you guys have millions of dollars going towards your campaigns to put up signs and to travel and to collect your corrupt political parties. So whatever your agenda is, when really you could give a shit about what's best for the United States, right? It's corruption. We don't have fucking allies. We backstab a lot of people, and it's so much, it's ran by the darker forces, the darker military forces, those reptilian spirits, those extraterrestrials that were working with Hitler. What would you guys know if that whole war was really about spaceships, okay, the advanced flying craft, and the clones that they had? Look how big Hitler's military was. Let's just say 70% of those were clones. They were making them to have them killed. Like, there was no winning. And other parts of our government were actually, naval forces were working with theirs. The naval, they actually had 11 submarines, and they were working on these submarines and sending all these people out for these special missions, right? There's only 11 submarines. What do you need that many, you know? These are the guys that were rebuilding these spacecrafts that they were finding. Hitler was already working with these lower vibrational deities and entities that have come. Like, he literally summoned them. You could call them, you know what I mean? They want to rule the earth. I could keep going about the dinosaurs. Those were all reptilians that eventually would evolve into two-legged species, but human existence could not exist on planet Earth because we would not have a chance with, you know, the T-Rex and all of that. So a meteor came and wiped them out so that we could have, right, coming from the future, timelines, right, within a ship or different colonies, and seeded a few of us here, right, that continued to seed until eventually we didn't realize that we were from a different planet or from a different space and time. We are descendants of those already in the future, if that makes any sense. It's pretty crazy, and a lot of you might not agree with me. I'm just putting out there what I've channeled, and I ain't talking out my ass, so. Hell yeah, lining the government pockets. Lily, whatever, she says, I am a robot. I'm not a human. And you know what? There is so many of those walking around. AI everything. And you know, advanced technology is great until we make it so smart that, I don't know. I think if you're going to put a computer up against a human will always have the humanism of the heart to make a decision, an emotional decision, where an AI would push a button and blow everybody and everything up, right? Because they're programmed for one thing. And maybe that's why the human species just isn't cutting it for the government anymore, because we're starting to grow and to expand and to have our own thoughts and our own mindsets. And it's getting hard to control us, right? It is. And we are in the middle of a mass awakening right now of just recognizing, even if it's just corruption, getting back into nature, finding ourselves, and realizing how money really does create so many problems. Think about how many times not having money has created problems in your life or with others, or having to pay the bank back and losing your car and then your home. Think about how every time you've got to a precipice of doing something fucking great, it's been a money or financial issue. Notice your phone's always with you. This phone right here is recording everything I'm saying. It's actually getting uploaded into YouTube, that gets scanned and uploaded. They see and know what I'm saying. Like, I'm not targeted on, oh, this motherfucker's out here putting out information, which might sound crazy to some, but for them, they know exactly what I'm talking about and what I'm on to. And it becomes a threat at some point. I'm not saying that it is right now at this moment. And there are good deities, and benevolent beings that I am highly guarded and protected from the darker forces, but it's coming out for a reason. All of you have this capability to get on a platform, to write a book, even if it's children's books. Write truths in children's books. Make it fun. Write fiction. Sometimes it has the biggest truths if you really look at it. I think a lot of the disclosures that we've received from the universe and from beings, right, or these people that do have this conscious awareness, are people who wrote the screenplay, Stargate Universe, and that's on Prime Video. You guys should check it out, or just watch it's so interesting. Or why do you think when Harry Potter came out, it was one of the biggest movies and everybody loved it? Because they remembered their own magic. They remembered when they can open portals with their energy, right? They remembered these things, so on a very deep level. And some people are like, no, I just think it's cool because it's already within your imagination. You already remember. She lived in her car with her son and wrote that book, and the Harry Potter series, and was turned down so many times before somebody actually took it on and created the movie and gave her a shot. It's an impeccable story. But just look at, like, the Lord of the Rings and these, the Celts and the Druids and the Vikings. Like, look at some of the times. The Romans were all reptilian, and then after the Romans, you notice how much the Romans actually mimic the Germans. Pretty crazy, right? That same AI cloned, heartless, non-human type species, that were ruling with an iron fist and killing and persecuting and murdering, and you know what I mean? Okay, discern your gut instinct. The first strong intuitive hit you receive about a person, situation, or place can be foreshadow, like a glimpse of hindsight. Gut instincts that remain consistent over time are especially worth heeding. Don't allow others or yourself to talk you out of your gut instincts. Avoid overthinking and prioritize your gut health. Now it's number 57. Glean possibilities, not predictions. Number 61. Use your sixth sense to explore your options regarding an issue. While some relationships and experiences may be fated, many more are dynamic, involving greater choice, flexibility, and freedom. Life happens organically due to the collective shifts and individual free will. Not everything can be predicted, which is why when people come on here and they're like, hey, tell me your future, tell me my future, a lot of people just are ignorant to how energy works. I'm reading a collective energy. This could be now, this could be in the future. Somebody could watch this from the past, you know what I mean, and receive this transmission 10 years from now. And a lot of people even say, the stuff you talk about is so crazy because it's like you're light years ahead of us. And I'm not. I am, but I'm not. I'm here for a reason saying these things, and you guys have these same capabilities. Not everything can be predicted. Co-create the future by taking a calculated, healthy risk with your intuition, following your gut instincts, allowing yourself to be led. If stuff seems crazy, go with it. You don't have to act on it, but allow yourself to receive these messages. Ask your spirit guides for more information on a specific topic. If it has to do with this, how can you help? What kind of activist are you? You know what I mean? What kind of humanitarian? How are you helping humanity to grow and to evolve through your own loving kindness, your ability to say, hey, that's not right, and standing up for other people. And you don't have to do it in a cruel way. I mean, it could just be somebody at work. It could just be a corrupt boss that you see, and you have this wonderful company, and it's just a few group leads that are terrible, you know, and turn people against each other and play all the games. And, you know, you guys know truth from what's not truth, because when it's not truthful, it hits you right here in your stomach. You're like, something's not right. That's your sixth sense. You already know that. That is your higher conscious self, right? Your little self's down here, your consciousness, that thought form is in this body. But your big self is already just a dimension away, and it's guiding you. That's what your intuition is coming from. It's like, hey, you know what I mean? Because it's not going to, can't just like appear in human form. Could, and give you this, unless it's like an emergency or life or death situation or for your safety. A lot of times that doesn't happen. It comes through connecting with yourself to understand how your sixth sense works, how your clairaudience works. When you hear a message, what's that high pitch, or you have the goosebumps, it's tapping into yourself. Developing these skills, these psychic pathways, is so important. Thoughts so become reality, and I think the further, Tina, we get down the road, I get the burning in my belly too, Morgan. We're going to start realizing these things, and it's going to be like second thought, you know. When people start realizing, and the ones that are going to experience the most are those ones that are the humanitarians, those ones that are in the loving frequency that can bring forth this wisdom and knowledge in a benevolent way to help others, right? And not disguise the truth behind, oh, I was chosen and I'm special. We're all chosen if we choose to be. We all have gifts. We all can be psychic. We all can be healers. Some of us have different attributes due to our DNA and where we descend from, right? Genetically, what's within this DNA. Remember, our DNA is within our body. Our consciousness is a part of the universe. So we're seeded into these specific bodies, right? And have all these past, future, lifetime experiences. So when we come through that crystalline grid, our consciousness automatically activates that, and it downloads that into this DNA and starts breaking away other things when we start to awaken. So the body is very important, as well as working with the consciousness, right? Is this making sense to you guys? Sometimes I feel like I just get on this whole thing, and maybe, I don't know, I get really excited about it. I've been on a fast track the past year. Feel I've grown in leaps and bounds, Morgan says, and it keeps speeding up. So exciting. It is. And I've noticed that too. Everything feels like it's speeding up. Everything feels like it's coming in quicker. It's easier to download. It's easier to tap in. Then we have these moments where we're kind of in this null, in this void space, right? In our humanism, kind of allowing that, because we get it, we get excited about it. It still takes a little bit of time for the subconscious mind to process it, right? So, and then downloading those light codes within to our cellular and DNA system, so it's all running. It all works together. Our energetic body, our light body, and our physical being have to be able to work together, just like how the chakras turn. We want to keep those in balance, which, by the way, I just had an amazing Reiki session. I was able to call back a fragment of my 3 and 4 year old aspect of myself when I was younger. And I don't know, I've had some amazing experiences, some amazing dreams. I've been seeing some very stuff I already know. I know this, and when I see these things, I'm like, I remember this. I remember exactly what that is. I remember that smell, that sight, that feeling, and I get it's like walking into an electromagnetic field. It feels like a thin sheer blanket over your face, or like a cobweb, and you can just feel yourself like vibrating within this electromagnetic field, like those beings are around you at the specific time, like just infusing every bit of your body with this higher vibration. It's phenomenal. Develop healthy routines. Your mystical abilities flourish when your earthly life is orderly, practical, and predictable. Probably because the body has to recognize. Healthy daily, weekly, monthly, and seasonal routines calm your sensitive nervous system, making it easier to tune into your intuition. which healthy eating, exercise, resting, playing, spiritual relationships, and work routines can you lean into, update, or adjust to support your new activation of your sixth sense? That's number 36, which is a 9. Number 49, minimize energy drains. Who, what, and where drains your physical and psychic energy? Is there a person, commitment, bad habit, food, place, thought pattern, or internal attitude that defeats or depletes you? Ask your intuition to identify drains in your life through words, pictures, feelings, or knowings, or via synchronicity. Support your adrenals. That is so important too. Not only what revitalizes us, but what also drains our body, right? Because we are energy. We're all energy. So, and we basically, we're transformers for extra, we're talking about like galactic high vibrational universal frequency is different than the seated earth energy from wind, fire, air, from the elements, right? They're two different types of energies, but we work coherently together. And when you can maximize your potential on being grounded within the earth and still seeding the aspect of that star-like energy within you, in your being, which is so high vibrational, it's like a huge solar flare. Your body would literally explode if you could harness all of you and what your energy is within this body. So that's why it's important to recognize, are we eating McDonald's still? Are we catching some French fries? And I'm not judging anybody who does. I'm just saying, you are what you eat. That's a low vibrational, dead, processed, I don't even know if it's an animal, right? For me, I used to love McDonald's. I won't eat that shit no more. I eat tomatoes out of my garden. You know what I mean? I eat the stuff that I grow, and I'm to the point where I'm thinking about just going to fish. You know what I mean? I love chicken, and I do the chicken salads and stuff, and then I do salmon out of the can. But I'm to the point where I'm going to start fish, but I feel sick when I eat certain things anymore. I literally, I can't drink milk. There's certain things like my body just does not want to have. And I don't know if you guys are experiencing those things, same things too with your appetite, or you get it on your plate, you take 2 bites, you're like, oh God, that just doesn't really taste so good. That is your internal system telling you, hey, we're trying to download these higher vibrational light codes into our body. And it's hard to do that when your internal organs they're fighting so hard to get rid of the processed shit, right? And those additives and preservatives. And we have all these activists like, how dare you, raising cows and killing them for food? Why would you do that when you can just go to the store and get meat? And I'm like, what? You do realize the meat from the store is cows that we've raised on our ranches, that we feed, that we grow the hay for. I was literally just blown away, like, how naive, and like, what part of the country are you fucking living in? You know what I mean? But there's so many people in this world that I worked on a feedlot. We're raising these cows on a feedlot. We're corn feeding them. A lot of them put this little ear tag in their ears, which is a growth hormone, which makes them get big. Okay, that's not a normal hormone, right? What's in that meat and how that animal feels when it dies. For those of you that hunt, you know that if you shoot your deer and you don't have a kill shot and it runs and is super stressed out, your meat tastes more gamey because the stress hormones get injected into that through the blood. I'm just saying, like, we really need to be cognizant of futuristically what our food and the way that our homeopathy, okay, the medicines. Are we hooked on the big pharma? And that's a cult of its own, right? It's a bioweapon. They keep people sick. They keep them coming back. Then you need to have the insurance to have the expensive medicine. Is everybody else seeing the corruption besides me? Like, are we recognizing that? And all it takes for you to do is get a book about growing some specific vegetables, things that you like. You can grow what you like. You don't have to have a bunch of miscellaneous stuff. I have spaghetti squashes that I grew, which I think are delicious. I like to cut them in half, bake them in the oven, and put some butter in them, and then I peel out all of, with a fork, and it makes little noodles. Then I'll make my own tomato sauce and put that on there, and it's a healthy spaghetti. You could do it with zucchini squash. I mean, it's time to advance the way that we eat, I guess is what I'm saying. If we want our bodies to keep up with the energy, right, that our solar system is shifting into. We are rapidly ascending. I believe that there will be maybe more than 10% of the world that is going to ascend, and I'm talking about ascend with the actual physical body, that are awakened and that will seed on a different planet, right? Similar to Earth, same humankind, that we will start a new civilization where maybe we might, it's because at that point it becomes our DNA is upgraded. So when we all get moved, this is just my hypothesis, to a different planet, and we are all super advanced, right? Because we've unlocked our DNA, we have spiritual gifts, we've opened them, we're loving, we're kind, we're humanitarian, we take care of the earth. We will go to an upgraded planet. I do believe that. How? I don't know. It might be that we teleport there. I think there's a lot of things to come within the next 15 years. I really think specifically over the next 2 years we will have a huge ascension process, and we will ascend with our physical bodies and be able to teleport through these wormholes and get to where we're going. It's only, I believe, will be for the select few, so that we can create a more advanced civilization that's ready to seed more higher conscious awareness, right? This planet will continue to grow and be seeded. I believe in that. I don't know. We could stay on this planet and others could go. I'm not sure. And these are just ideas that I've had. This is what I feel. Because not everybody's going to wake up. There are some that are just, they got the shit end of the stick in their genetics, you know, and based off of free will, you have the ability to ascend and to heal, and you're still murdering people, raping people, stealing people's babies. You're just, you know what you're cloning, you're soul swapping, you're doing these terrible things because you have some wisdom and knowledge, so you think you're powerful. Those I do not think are going to ascend. I don't. I think you had your free choice, and then that's that. I think this is a very crucial lifetime. Is this, let's just say who's on this timeline at this time, is a very crucial time, because we open-heartedly took the choice to come back to humanity in this time, 2000 and whatever, the 24, from the time we were born. I was born 1988. I knew my timeline would be at this specific point, and at a specific time I'd have these trials and tribulations to awaken from my drug abuse and alcohol, and you know what I mean. More than anything, I was just always trying to numb my overwhelming empathetic emotions that I've had for everything and feeling left behind. I got rid of that pity, self-lack consciousness, right, and started to evolve to how I can be better, how I can help other people be better, how you can recognize to heal through things, which is why I have this channel. And even some of my family's like, you know, you do talk to the devil and all of this, but I just look at them with love, and I'm like, you have so much fear. If there's nothing to be afraid of when you step out in a truth. It doesn't have to be everybody's truth. I don't share it with everybody. That's why I got on YouTube and I share it with you guys who are ready for it, because those are the ones that are advancing and moving forward. The other ones might take a few more lifetimes coming back to the same time in space, right, to ascend to that time. It's just interesting when you really start to think about the dynamics of, it's not a 9 to 5. We're just evolving. We're only in 2024. Like, we had ships, pyramids. These are just places that are here that we came back to. It's about remembering. It's a remembrance. Wade, I believe those that hurt children and will be removed, because children, I gotta plug in my phone real fast. I didn't realize I was dying. Because children are God's greatest gift to this earth and humanity, and they're in their pureness and the truest essence of their beauty, in my opinion. I mean, I have 7 children, you know, and they are all magnificent beings, and, you know, we just set them up with the best that we can with what we can. Okay, so we talked about that. I wanted to go into developing the healthy routines, because Spirit's really pointing that out to me. Number 36. Thank you guys for hanging in here with me. I appreciate it. If those of you that have joined, if you guys will hit the like button, that'll help put this into the algorithm of YouTube so other people can catch the channel. I'm just still a small channel. We're starting out. It's been a few months, but I do believe that those that need the message will find it. Hitting the like button, hitting the fucking like button does send it out. All right, here we go. Develop healthy routines. Routine is very calming to the human nervous system, which is why infants and young children are often kept on a regimen, sleeping, eating, and even playtime routine. Think of a child's bedtime ritual, which might involve a kiss goodnight or a story. People who are very intuitive, particularly empaths and those with strong clairsentient psychic pathways, have extra sensitive nervous systems. A perceptive nervous system that picks up on all emotions and energy and physical stimuli in the environment can often quickly be grounded and settled by routine. Pulling this card suggests that healthy routines will stabilize your sixth sense. Sometimes the more predictable your daily routine, the more predictability your sixth sense will be to respond with those insights. Action steps. Although humans are by nature creatures of habit, routines that are too rigid or too outdated can be boring or even a bit depressing. I totally agree with that. Don't be afraid to spice things up or embrace spontaneity. Make sure your routines are connecting, like going to a weekly exercise class you really enjoy or meeting up with a friend every month to attend a lecture by someone you both really admire. Seemingly small routines like getting up and going to bed at roughly the same times every day, or eating healthy meals and snacks are roughly the same times, can make a huge difference in stabilizing your nervous system. Routines don't have to take up too much time, like pulling an oracle card for inspiration or they could be like pulling an oracle card every morning for inspiration every morning, or meditating for 15 minutes when you walk in the door after work. Develop some weekend routines that help you unwind if those are days that you typically have less responsibility. Try lounging in a bath, cooking an elaborate meal, catching up with loved ones, spending time in nature, spending longer amounts of time with your spiritual self, and reading a good book. Monthly routines that help you connect to subjects, people, and places you're passionate about can be a really fun way to play with the routine. If you're facing challenges or going through a big changes, now is an especially auspicious time to lean into your healthy daily routines to feel more stable and to encourage helpful intuitive hits. I like that. Breaking out of this illusion, I really feel like that's been the forward movement of the collective consciousness at this time, is really having this deeper understanding of our native selves, of our the true descendants of which we come from, and who and what we truly are. Universally, Holy Spirit, benevolent beings of the light, ascended masters, spiritually, what path are we embarking on right now at this time for the collective, for the highest good of the collective, Holy Spirit? This journey and growth, it's like breaking out of this shell that we've been in for so long and realizing that there's more to yourself, really. And I think that has become really exciting for some of you to realize you are different, you're unique, you're not going to be like everybody else, you're not going to have the same spiritual gifts, you're not going to think like your parents or your siblings, or you may have found yourself with no friends or a new group of friends, or you could actually be finding people that you align with more, because energetically you become a magnet for like frequencies, right? Notice when we're in the healing process, we always draw people close to us that are a lot like us. Feminine twin, activating your higher self. Oh God, that is beautiful. 2 actually came out. We are in the process of activating our higher self through this physical being right now. Knowing that the Merkaba has been activated. That's number 66. This is number 33. This could be numbers that you are seeing. Look at that Merkaba. That is our vehicle that our consciousness rolls around with, grounded, shielded, and protected. So now as you're evolving in this new conscious state, 6633, you're activating your higher self and you're protected within that. So let go of those fear thought forms. Anything else, Holy Spirit, for the collective? The Merkaba. I actually have the Merkaba tatted on my finger. I love the Merkaba. I've been actually drew that since I was really little, the triangle up and the triangle down within one another. Never knew why I did it, and then as I got older into spirituality, I'm like, oh my gosh, I was drawing the Merkaba since I was like 9 years old. Really weird. Not weird. Oh my God. Okay, so we got 66 feminine twin activating the higher self. Came out, right? Then we have, that's 66. Then we have 55 masculine twin releasing the lower self. You cannot make that up. Look at that. Releasing the lower self to become the higher aspect of yourself and your soul. Knowing that you're 33, grounded and protected within doing this. This is a huge transformational shift. Bottom of the deck, we have entering the vortex, aligning with infinite abundance. Number 1010. That's twice we've pulled out 1010. Excuse my pretty nail polish. I've got paint and crap everywhere. Entering this vortex, and some of you actually could feel like you're in this whirlwind of energy just evolving on the inside, right? You're doing this work on the inside, and it might not be obvious to others, but within your mind and your mental capacity and your consciousness, it's like an all-day download. It's just like your awareness of, what is this? Where am I going? Where, what are these frequencies that I'm experiencing? Hi, Christine. Hey, Laura. Christine says, I literally just met my female childhood twin who energy is way higher at the moment, helping me raise my energy. Now that's interesting. How cool is that? I wonder what date you actually, do you remember the actual date that you met this person on? Because if you do, I'm being told to tell you to add up all of the digits within that date, and that number is significant to you. Then cross-reference that date, if you can remember it, with your actual life path number. And to get your life path number, you add up, like mine's 7/3/1988. You add up all of those numbers, and that'll be the number. Mine ends up being a 36, but in numerology, you add the 6 and the 3, which I become a life path 9. 10 becomes a 1. It's considered a 1, right? Because the 0 drops off. Now, if you're 11, a 22, a 33, a 44, those are master numbers. And I'm looking at the 1010 again. That message just came through for you, Christine. So if you can, you might check that out. Wow, that is no accident. You probably have some big work to do with that soul. Morgan goes, girl, you're talking about me. Activated my Merkaba yesterday. 5 days ago, I had an activation of another piece of me. I am hearing you and getting confirmation on all of that again. Ooh, Angie, you're life path 9. I love that. You're life path 1, Tina. And then, you guys, if you want to look up your life path and there's this blonde gal I watch, and I will put it in the community post, but she kind of goes into attributes of what that life path is. So as a 9, we embody all of the numbers, right? 1 through 10, we embody all of them. So our life path is a very highly spiritual life path, just like the number 7. We're humanitarians, and we go through 1 all the way to 9. So we're experiencing attributes of all of them at the same time. So very empathetic and very sensitive. But I encourage all of you that if you want to actually do your life path, look it up. Go on YouTube and say attributes of the life path number 9. And they'll kind of go into, and just see if it resonates with you. You're very super sensitive. If you're not feeding your creative spark, and it will just teach you a little bit something. Somebody needed to hear that, because that's going to help somebody along the path of digging a little bit deeper. Because anytime you're looking within, or attributes of yourself, because the personality's melding within the Merkaba, right, of the spiritual higher self. So it really is about coming together. We talked about the Merkaba. We got 66 feminine twin, and then 55 masculine twin. We have activating the higher self, and then we have releasing the lower self. A Merkaba is 2 triangles, one that goes up and one that goes down. It looks just like this. It's a meld. It's an activation, and within that is where that protection and releasing and opening that DNA. It's going back to the DNA. Your higher self's already activated. It's just seeding that within that double helix strand, right, of that 24th chromosome. This card's not supposed to be in here. I accept responsibility for my well-being. And discernment. All right, let's get, what frequencies do we have here? Holy Spirit, Holy Angels. It is so nice to get back on a live. I am sorry, guys. I kind of took off for a little bit. I've been working, remodeling at our house and my neighbors, and getting ready to go on a trip to Reno. I will meet. I have 5 sisters. My real dad, I didn't get to meet him till I was 33. 33 is my favorite number. My license plate actually says Angel 33. I met him at 33 years old, which is it's synchronicity, but it's just divine timing, right? And it is one of my favorite ascended master numbers. Well, since I've met him, I just turned 36 this July 3rd. I actually get to go to Reno, where I was born, and meet all of the rest of my sisters on his side. I already know the oldest one, Nicole, which I played with her when I was little, but my mom told me that was my cousin and that my dad was my uncle. So I didn't know that was my real dad for my whole life. I thought the man that raised me was my real dad. So come to find out, I thought I was I was half Mexican because I thought my dad's mother was full Mexican. Turns out she's full Blackfoot native. She's Indian. And then my dad is half, right? So my mom's real dad, is 100% Cherokee. So that makes my mom half. So I've got Cherokee and Blackfoot Indian. So when I started doing the cards, I was really leaned towards the shamanic part of it, and just the connection with the drums and the fire and the spirituality and connecting in that consciousness. I like to use psilocybin, which is magic mushrooms, to open that portal and that conscious awareness within my mind. I want to try peyote, and I want to go to Peru and do ashwagandha. And when I work with plant medicines, I open up so much. Most people take it just to, oh, I'm tripping balls, man, but it's different when I experience and do it in a ritualistic aspect of these plant medicines. Remember, all of these plants were already here for us, right? A lot of people lost touch with horticulture and what certain plants and how they play on us. And for me, drawing back to my roots right now, knowing that I am Blackfoot Indian, and I've always known my grandfather was Cherokee, drawing back to that and that culture is something that's within my DNA. So integrating that with my spirituality and this star seed aspect of what I am, this Pleiadian piece of me, mixing them together, it's almost like this unstoppable force when I'm within that energetic field. I mean, I can see through different dimensions. It's absolutely astounding, and I'm learning how to hone that same sight in without experiencing with the psilocybin, and how to call back in looking through these different dimensions and seeing portals. So my eyes are starting to activate. I have a double stigmatism and actually have a floater in one eye. Well, I don't know how, but it works together, and it like creates this optical illusion that opens up. I can see into stuff like this, right? So there's a little snippet about me that I could share with you guys. It's about drawing back to who and what you are. Not just your descendant, what you are, but what you are here. I mean, some of us don't know our grandparents. Some of us don't know any of that. Some of you might actually be really interested in DNA, because I know I have been really into that. And it's about the legacy that you're going to leave for that genetic genotype, right? This is important for somebody who will hear this. $10K says, I found I'm also Blackfoot on my dad's side. His grandma was 100% native. $10K, that is a collective synchronicity. Is that not? You've probably been interested in doing peyote or sacred ceremonies or a sweat, or maybe you've always been drawn to like the native drumming music. It's kind of in your blood, you know what I mean? I know it's in mine, the dance and the beat of the music, and I don't know, it just takes it's like once you start hearing that music, because it's a vibration, right? Has any of you guys ever watched when they put a bunch of salt on a metal table? It doesn't have to be a smooth surface, and then they play a really high frequency and push a button on the piano, and it goes into its own sacred it goes into its own design. Each frequency creates a shape, right? That's coming through for a reason. So if you're called to do something like that, I suggest that you allow yourself to experiment with music, sounds, vibration, just these different healing modalities. Even like when I speak in my, a lot of people say that my language sounds like Hopi when I do my sacred prayer language, and I'll be honest with you, it just came to me one day. I mean, I was just in a deep state of gratitude, and I was praying. I was really more into my Christianity and Jesus Christ, and I love Jesus Christ, and I'm one will never. He is an amazing scented master. I mean, so benevolent. And walked on water. Okay, the guy walked on water. Very advanced being, right? Talk about a full meld in the Merkaba with the higher self and the body, right? And he says, "I am. You are what I am." He was never put a separation that he was ever greater or better than us. He says, "You have everything. You are. My Father is your Father, right? The Creator is your Creator too. You have these abilities, if not more, to do what I've done since I've been here. We're magnificent. We are connected. We are going to remember every bit of this, and we're doing it, listening to these things that are channeled that come through, activating this higher self. That's you. See all that energy? It's just billowing. There's enough energy within each and every one of you singularly to light an entire New York City. That's how much power you can harness through your own system. Can you wait till we get into the advance? We already have that, right, in this future timeline, but we came back here to address something. What do you think it was? The aspect of love. It doesn't matter about advanced technology, no monetary system, but what is that if we can't have the love and humanism, right? Because that's what's so, they said that the gods were jealous of the humans because we had the demigods, right? Because we could die, but we were eternal too. Because we are just magnificent. We can morph into these bodies. We can put our consciousness and swap consciousnesses and timeline jump. And we're already advanced in the future, but we missed a key component. We're separating the Mexicans from the natives, to the blacks, to the whites. Do you know that that's all shit? The skin color does not matter, because we're all this aspect, right, of this higher vibrational frequency, just in different genetic codes, which could be a lineage from a different planets, right? The blacks, the Asians, we could all just have our own. It's the DNA. It goes back to the DNA. Who gives a shit about skin color? But do you see how the border situation, which whatever, it's politics. I don't give a shit. But we miss the love part. We miss the hugging our neighbor. We miss the upliftment of, I mean, Mexicans, these guys work so hard in our fields here. They're sending money back to their family. Like, they are so family oriented, and they come together and have family dinners, and they all work together. There's things from each race that are so, I mean, the blacks are so musically inclined. Their voices are like fucking angels. They all sing. They're athletic. Like, there's something that's missing. It's like we segregated all of this. And that's what I think we came back to recognize, is that we're all one. And that the love within each and every one of us is identical, if we could not allow the separation to create. And I'm just saying that. And that's my perspective. It doesn't have to be your guys's. TWC Myers. Hey, okay, me. I have an adult ADHD autism, but I am not handicapped, and I am a Taurus. Do you have any free readings? Others say you have to sub for a reading or send money. I have no money to send. If you want to hang on to the end of this read, I'll pull a few cards for you. Let me finish channeling, and then I'll pull a few cards for you. That's not a problem. I just got goosebumps on my legs. Yeah, just give me a second. Yeah, the plant medicine is really, I think that that's something too. The way that they've kept weed, right? I mean, people were in prison for marijuana, and then all of a sudden it became legal, and then we still have people that are locked up for, granted, I mean, peddling like kilos and kilos of weed, whatever, but in my opinion, everybody could use a little weed in their life, because it chills them out, and it is from the earth, and granted, they're making it synthetically in other ways now, but I think anything that is a plant that can bring you back to earth, right? It's a meld within nature and the earth spirit, right? It is a living being. I talk to the psilocybin when I do it, to the mushrooms. and I talk to it while I'm on it. I say, show me what I need to see, because my body already remembers that crystalline grid and that meld with the plant medicine. It already knows it, knows how to do its thing. They work cohesively together. I'm telling you. Same thing with ayahuasca and peyote. It's a journey on the within part of the the conscious mind, right? It's bypassing that subconscious and really getting into that to unlocking what needs to be done. And some people just have to have that because the programming in this earth is so strong. Okay, Christina, facts. I love that weed helps. I've been really drawn to ayahuasca, so excited for the first experience. 10K, are you getting ready to do ayahuasca? And if you are, I want to ask you, are you going to Peru to a shaman to do that? I know it's illegal in the United States, but I've been thinking about making a trip to Peru. I'm still researching shamans. I watched this show. You might actually like this show, and I can share it for free on my community post, and you can click on the link because I have the Gaia subscription. It's called The Last Shaman, and it's about this guy who's so depressed, doesn't know why his dad infiltrates his military structure and how he should live, and he couldn't find happiness, left his girlfriend. I mean, nothing made him happy anymore, and he's like, I'm gonna kill myself, but I'll give myself few months and see if this works. He goes to Peru, finds a shitty shaman at first, and then ends up finding this other shaman in this sacred tribe, and he drinks a whole bunch of different plant medicines, washes with plant medicine, and cleanses his system because he was on all these anti-psycho meds, right, for depression and all of this stuff, just going on and on and on. And finally he cleanses his system. I think he did it for 60 or 90 days, and then he has this trip on ayahuasca. But if you want to check that out, I will, when we get off here, get on Gaia, and I can share it for free, and you guys should be able to watch it for free. It's called The Last Shaman, and I'll share it on the community page where my posts are. If you want to click on that and check it out, man, talk about so interesting. I cried. I was so moved by this experience and the depth of going within. I mean, he was not around anybody, just totally encumbered within. It's just so magnificent. It is one of the most magnificent. Yeah, I'll share it. Yeah, and in Peru, it's said that Peru actually has these specific grid lines there that makes it like this, just like Mount Shasta, this super energetic place. There's actually a desert in Peru where they're doing this other extraterrestrial stuff, and there's actually Stargate portals, where there's gateways to other realms and timelines. I'm going to get there one day. I mean, I'm in my 5th year of spiritual awakening, and I could imagine where I'll be in another 5. Truly, at the rate I'm going every day in my mind, it's seeking. It's just, I mean, when I'm watering my garden, when the birds fly by, I see 2 dragonflies. It's like I am starting to communicate with these animals, and I don't know. This world is so, it's literally you want to know what it is? We would be persecuted back after the Druid and Celt time, right, for practicing witchcraft. And a lot of people think this is witchcraft. This is just really, all witchcraft is connecting to your higher self or working with herbs. Granted, you can manipulate energy and do bad things within that, but I'm talking about really finding your own magic and how to use it energetically. People, hypnotherapists put people under and call back their subconscious. That's not witchcraft, though. Right? But it is, because you're using a modality to put somebody in a specific state, or yourself, right? It's very interesting. But do you notice that a lot of us that are, have our crystals or meditate, or we're already starting to come out of the woodwork, and to be able, we're not being persecuted for experiencing magic, our own higher power, right? And a lot of people are like, call on Jesus, you just summoned a demon, you're going to hell. When really, we're getting connected, guys. Could you imagine the next 5 years, really, where we're going to be at? Just even the next 2. By 2027, I guarantee you, there's this shift, even the 8-8 portal, all of these, the 12-12 portal. There's those of us that are choosing to ascend, we're still on planet, right? But we're ascending past these other My ears ringing. The vibration is just feeding and working with our cellular and our Merkaba systems. It's so amazing. Okay. Man, to go as a group, oh my God, as the Guardian Oracle and really connect and go to Peru and have that experience. Because, I mean, we've all been entangled in each other's same energy for months now, right? How cool would that be to actually like do some sort of funding or program or something where we could save money for a trip to Peru to consciously evolve? I mean, you know what I mean? To help some of those who won't be able to afford it, or you know what I mean? We could do something that's good for humanity and raise the money to do that. Tina, I think that is a great idea. Wade says, great minds think alike. Okay. Two Myers, I'm going to help you out. Hi, Isaac. I didn't know you're in here. And by the way, you said hi as I was getting off my last read. And as soon as I closed out, I meant to shout out to you and tell you hi. I hope you and the family are good. See, 10K's down too. I think to do something like that, because we're all, there's no time and space. Energetically, we're all together when we get on these lives. We all spend time. I mean, we think similarly. So going in with an intention like that to Peru to experience, you know what I mean, in the protection from the higher realms of all of us together, because our souls already know each other. There's no reason we're doing this when we get on here together. We already knew we'd be doing this, right? From the future to the past, we already knew. It seems coincidental in that we're just here, but we already chose this, each other, this experience, the fact that we're talking about this now. Nothing is by accident, and if that's one thing I can put out there for the collective, if you always know we're always being guided, is if we have the eyes to see and the ears that hear, right? And sometimes it's just the eye that sees. Sometimes it's just a feeling, and that's the greatest thing about humanism, is that we're always connected.
Automatically responds to snoring, so no more hiding under your pillow, because this system actually detects snoring, then adjusts to help reduce it. Tempur-Pedic ranked number
Okay.
1 customer satisfaction with mattresses
Two Myers.
by J.D. Power.
You want to talk about your autism, and what's your question? I will give you a question. KK the Creative says, I can create lots of stuff to get things going. I love that. Because it's going to take a collective to put something together, because we're all in different times and spaces, but how cool if we could start something. I've really been wanting to start something with a collective to where if once a week we can all do a live and get on here, and it only takes 4 minutes. For 4 minutes, we all sit quietly and collectively within our space. You can grab your temples or your crystals and burn your sage, and if we can just send out a vibration of love and healing to the entire planet, and we did that once a week for 4 minutes, that's all it would take. Even if it's just 12 of us, do you know how powerful that is? And never underestimate, you could be an ascended master. You don't know who you are in the future or what the aspect of your soul is just yet. We're just now getting a snippet of it, but do you know how powerful that is? Because each of us harness our own unique vibration energy, coming and melding together and sending it out. I think I want to start doing that. What do you guys think about that? Okay. Hey, can I have a reading? Okay, why is my YouTube friends, Kira and King channel, and not talking to me? How can I get out of Instagram drama? Well, I can tell you that without even pulling a card for you. You have a sense of codependency, and I'm saying this out of love, where you need the affirmations from others or to be entangled with others to feel like you're a part of something. There's a reason you're not looking within your own self. Maybe it's because of the autism or whatever you deem to be a misfit or misaligned with others or left out. And I will tell you, autism is a very high vibrational, it's some of the purest forms of souls that are here. And same with people who have schizophrenia. They're experiencing different timelines all at the same time, which is why they're popping back into different personalities. A lot of people think they're batshit crazy, but they actually are just such an open, everything seeded and downloaded them at one time. So they're remembering past bad lives when they were crazy, future, different timelines. So they're experiencing it all at the same time. People with schizophrenia, my heart goes out to them, because unless they can learn how to harness that energy and really tap into each specific timeline, and basically they're time travelers, but it's all coming in this through the veil of forgetfulness, and it feels so crazy and chaotic, and that's very deep. But if you're saying that you have autism, let me pull out a card. Let's talk about a frequency that would help you to be in. And the frequency is a state of mind, okay? And it's about going back within yourself, and you don't need anybody, okay? You need yourself. And until you can find yourself, it's going to be, you're always going to be you're going to feel empty, because you're always looking for something in somebody else's energy. And maybe that's why you like to be on their channels or be a part of that. A neediness. You have this neediness to be involved, but what you don't realize is that you can create your own involvement in your own space, and that could be probably one of your greatest gifts, is starting something of your own. So what will help you is being in the frequency of delight. The frequency of delight supports our capacity to create and experience feelings of intense joy and happiness. The more delight we feel, the more delight we invoke in others. So maybe feeling the delight with it when you're in your own frequency and by your own self, okay? And then the cosmic flower. The frequency of the cosmic flower activates your remembrance of the places we call home, the core from which we pour our magnificence out into the world. You need to come back home to yourself and within your own vibration. For Myers, what's going to help him work on finding his own self? The energy signature. The past is in the present. See, you seem like, and I just talked about this, somebody that already knows something. You have this need for connectivity, and you, for some reason, you're not finding it within yourself, because you're always looking in the past, I believe, of what once was, or friend circles, or feeling left out. Like you have this soul wound of being forgotten, and I think that's something that if you could find some positive affirmations or look within, self-help books or self-love affirmations, or listening to that might help you. Know that you're already good on your own. You're beautiful. You're magnificent. If other people don't want to be in your energy, you can't force people to stay. You have to let them go. And if the universe is taking two people away from you, no matter what platform they're on, it's for a reason. It's for you to let go, because they're trying to show you something else. Maybe it's the stint and time of loneliness, right? But it's not really lonely. The best friend you'll ever have is yourself. Frequency, and the universe is telling you have a need for belief. And this will be an affirmation you can repeat to yourself or go back and watch this. I believe in myself, the beauty of life, and the goodness of God. Thus I have the power to fulfill my dreams. The will of the Almighty supports me. My life is showered in divine light, and my heart opens to the power of the universe. And remember that you are always connected and that you are never alone. And maybe I'll pull a spirit animal card for you, because this might be something that will synchronistically come up. The buffalo, abundance. Abundance and liberation are finally on the way. It comes to you now to remind you of the amazing, magnificent power of gratitude. You will always have plenty when you express gratitude to every part of who and what you are. So a need to go within and be grateful for what you do have, not who you've lost and who's not there anymore. I hope that helped. Okay. I want to pull a goddess deck card, and then I want to pull from the Ascended Masters. This was a good read. I needed this. I missed you guys. I was like, my family, I need to get on there. But like I always say, I trust in the divine timing of everything coming on, and it's almost like I go through this stint, even when I'm not. I think about you guys all the time and like getting on here, but as a reader and as somebody, like, I'm not really in it for the public eye and the you know what I mean? I love the growth of the channel, but it's more or less, I don't know, it's like Spirit puts me through these little vortexes of learning and knowledge and wisdom and what I'm experiencing, and then they'll use that through the channel for me to put out a message and kind of show me and reflect what I've been experiencing, that, and they pick out points and parts, so I know that that's what the collective's going through, because they'll show me attributes of my own self in that. Did that flip over? Okay. Divine goddesses for the collective. What divine goddesses are coming through for this collective, tapped in, and those that will come? The butterfly maiden, transformation. Woohoo! You know, that's 2 cards, and we pulled her out earlier with the rainbow. The rainbow bridge is the bridge from the sleeping self to the awakened self. Transformation. You are experiencing enormous change right now, which brings great blessings. And I agree with that 100%. And like, I really feel like a lot of you have done a lot of inner work. And now it's about bringing that inner work to the forefront. Butterfly Maiden. I've never pulled this card before out of this deck, to be honest with you guys. And I've had this deck for a year and a half, over a year and a half. You are experiencing enormous change right now, which brings great blessings. Message from the Butterfly Maiden. As you go through this period of change, it's natural for you to wonder if your future is safe. I am here to assure you that you're part of nature's cycles of birth, death, and rebirth. To bring in your desired newness, you must first allow old parts of your life to fall away. These changes are celebrated, not feared. Give thanks for the shedding of the old. Embrace all of the lessons it has brought, and then let it go. Be giddy with excitement and the newness of the gifts that are now being bestowed upon you, and let their magical surprise and delight you. Various meanings of this card. Do not be concerned about endings, as they are bringing in new for you. Your prayers have been answered with this change. Let go of the old and don't worry about these changes. They are truly for your best. About this goddess. Butterfly Maiden is a Hopi Native American. Can you make that up? Where we're not just talking about Hopi with my language. That is so interesting. Kachina spirit who ensures that crops yield healthy and bountiful harvests. Did we not pull the corn card? Number 10, the ending of this cycle. Okay, beautiful harvest. She is a springtime goddess who helps us escape from any cocoon situation that's trapping us or impeding on our growth or joy. If you are feeling stuck, she is a wonderful goddess to call upon during the emerging process. She'll also guide you through life's transitions and help you spread your wings. Nice, and her name is the Butterfly Goddess. I love that. All right, Divine Masters. The voice of my inner teacher, I call on you now. Awaken and activate. I am willing to listen, and so it is. Divine Masters, keepers of ancient wisdom. Thank you for revealing to us what we need to know. We are here to listen. All right. Divine Master is working with the collective at this point. Holy Spirit, for the highest good of the collective. Isis, reclaiming magic. Guys. Here we are, ancient ones. My ancient collective family. All right. I don't think I've pulled this card before either. 67. New is what I just heard. There's nothing wrong with bringing in the new. That's what we're here doing. Isis, reclaiming magic. Call back your power in what is rightfully yours. Excuse me. Isis is one of the foremost goddess of ancient Egypt. She is a high priestess, goddess, and mother figure all in one, and is associated with the energies of the moon, magic, love, and conquering the underworld. Through her life experiences, connections, and understandings of magical forces, she has wisdom to offer us. Isis is a keeper of magical energy. Helping She is dedicated to helping those who feel called to connect with their magic within. She helps us see the magic isn't something that comes to us, but an energy we awaken within. She is particularly drawn to those stepping into and honoring the divine feminine, those who are reclaiming aspects of themselves or their power that had been left behind. Oh, that gives me goosebumps. Your message: it is time to be your whole self. The parts of yourself that have had to be left behind are now ready to return. This is a time to stop playing small and step back into your greatness. If you feel something or someone has pushed you away for your most authentic self, the power of magic is guiding you to take the reins back into your own hands. Don't let anyone or anything stop you from being who you were born to be. Let the voice be heard. Let your gifts be seen and let your power be revealed. If you feel that you have lost or forgotten parts of yourself due to situations beyond your control, know that these fragments are not lost but waiting to be reclaimed. Call back all the fragments of your innocence, your gifts, talents, vulnerability, heart, and anything else that might be out there in the universe. Man, this is a powerful moment of spiritual awakening, and the world is here to be your witness. Welcome home to yourself. And I told you guys in the beginning of this read, I just did Reiki, and I was able, through my light weaver and my Reiki master, who is out of this world. I mean, she weaves light. She is amazing. And I never had this experience, but we were able to call back, and it was down in my knee. In my grounding, she was able to call back my 3 and 4-year-old self. That innocence of myself came back into my energy body. So this is so synchronistic. Not only she was part of the Hopi, right? Which I think is so interesting. And we're talking about ancient wisdom, which we channeled that higher conscious awareness, ancient wisdom. But she embodies more than just one, right? She's the love, she's the connectivity, and we pulled the card about the divine feminine, stepping into your femininity, transcending the masculine self, right? Releasing the lower self, the masculine twin, and 66 feminine twin, activating the higher self, calling back all parts of you of the universe. That might be a good thing for you guys to maybe just do a little sacred something while we get off here, and to say, with your heart and soul, I call back every aspect of my innocence, my love, my purity from all parts of the universe, because we're talking about being time travelers from the future, right? Coming back to this timeline. So maybe we have left fragments of that soul self in other places, or we had released it in this physical realm at some point due to pain or trauma. So very interesting. Activating that Merkaba and knowing that you are protected. And anytime you're using good intention and it's through love, you're sending out a huge beacon to the universe. Yep, just your tiny little body saying, and they know who you are. They know your name. They know your imprint. They know exactly who you are in this body. And they're just in awe of the remembrance that you're having of who and what you truly are. You guys are phenomenal. You're doing literally magical work here on this physical plane, and you don't even know the god and goddesses that you guys truly are, and your connectivity to the Grand Master Creator of the most high benevolent light. You guys are all warriors of the light, and that's why we chose to travel back and to save the future and bring love into that, right? No future's worth having if you don't have love and compassion. We want to advance this human race, right? Because we have feelings. We're not just light bodies. We don't just telepathically communicate. We're a whole different race that speaks, feels. But when you are advanced civilizations, we could telepathically communicate. You're completely vulnerable. We know everything about each other. There's no shield or invisibility between us or secrets or any of that. We just know because we know the consciousness. We read it, right? We're like our own secret book here, and we're trying to evolve that so this race can become an advanced civilization in the future. Pretty cool. Full of love, full of hope, families, kids, love, and to be able to be trusted with the power, right? Because something about the free choice of humanism, some of, you know, we see them, we're watching them right now. They take control of very advanced, beautiful things that could help. I mean, there's cure for cancer, man, and we're losing family members left and right because there would be no money in it, and that's just sad. That's just sad because we're meant to live for 500 plus years, and we will at one point, especially for those that will ascend in their physical body as masters of this specific, whatever this lifetime is that you're here to master. So TWC Myers, I'm so glad that you came in here. That's nice, and I'm glad that you guys are all talking. Thank you guys all for hitting the like button and be a part. If you guys want to comment, rewatch this, you're more than welcome to. It'll be uploaded. I love you guys. I'm going to get out of here. I hope you guys have a great day. I have to go. I need to build a gate, but before I do that, I got to go take measurements. This guy wants a double wide. He wants to put a metal roof on it. So I'm going to go see how wide it is and how much material it'll take and get some stuff done before it gets too hot. It's only supposed to be 96. The last 2 days were like 105 and 103. So I hope you guys have a wonderfully blessed day. I love you all. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. If any of you guys are interested that are new to the channel and want a personal read, you can find my information in the description box. If any of you guys want to donate to the channel for cards and candles and new things, we can do that. I'm going to post the last shaman once I get off here onto the community page. It's from Gaia, so it'll just be a link. Please watch that if you're interested in the ayahuasca thing. And then I want to start doing a once a week where we just get on for 4 minutes, and I'll open up with a sacred prayer and hold space for us, and we can all just send a loving vibration out to the universe, and we can start seeing the difference that makes over time. I think that's something that's wonderful to do, and then we can just catch up for a minute and then hop off, or we could get into a read after. I'm not sure what it'll look like, but even if it's just 4 minutes, I mean, it's really powerful. Okay. Is Hot Rod in here? Hot Rod, we're just getting off. Sorry, you should watch the replay. It was a good one. We're talking about going to Peru and doing ayahuasca as a collective in the future. And maybe finding something humanitarian to raise money for, you know what I mean? Or that we could do that we could help raise money to go to Peru for those that won't be able to do it, and collectively us find a good shaman over there and have this awakening experience, right? We wouldn't be talking about it if we weren't going to do it. All right, Holy Spirit, holy angels, benevolent beings, ancestors, ascended masters, thank you for coming through in this read and working with the collective. We are forever grateful, and we send out a massive vibration of love and healing frequency throughout the universe as a collective whole right now. Archangel Michael, I send back any energy that does not belong to me and that is not mine with love and light, and I call back all of my energy throughout the universe that is mine with love and light. I close out any portals, gateways, stargates I may have opened. I demand, declare, and decree that no weapons would have formed against myself or my listeners, so mote it be, and we are completely protected from all negative lower forces, deities, governments. Anybody that will infringe upon this message or try to create chaos is blocked and void, as nothing, no one, and no one thing has permission in our sacred space unless it is in direct alignment with our soul. So there's that. Azrake oete ashe kirete o manananaye parate kutri shoye te yananaya. E papa baye kete o te aeshe karate o yetere na ye bayete kete tutuyo. Be ae kirete o yeshe kotare apa ye nananaye padudu. So mote it be. All right, guys, I'm outie 5,000. I will see ya when I see ya. I can't make any promises, but I will post those things for you guys. All right, love you guys.